Blood leaves the body, you lose strength. She was drained past fears of any chance to have a night on the town. She was drained of not being able to entertain any friends because she had no energy. She was drained because when she got dressed, she was worn out before she ever left the house. Kind of like some of us, and some of you will not attest to the fact that when you even bent down to tie your shoes and lean back up, you need a second or two to catch your breath. I know I'm not the only one that, as age progresses, Miss Kiki, that we have to give me a minute. I need some time to catch my breath. This woman could not do many of the things that we could do.
Yes, sir.
Can you fathom the strain of not being able to fraternize and hang with others for 12 long years? You know, it's one thing to be sick for a day. People will ride in ambulance. If you go by ambulance and go to the hospital, they'll stop by the hospital. But don't be sick more than one day. If you're sick more than one day, I know I got some witnesses here that folk will stop by, but then they'll say, I was just in the neighborhood. Thought I'd stop by and see you, but then don't get sick more than a month. They'll send a text message, a message on Facebook just thinking about you. When you get sick longer than a month or two, folk forget about you. Can you be thinking about this? How can this woman be sick for 12 years? No cards coming through the mail. Nobody stopping by because they're in the neighborhood, because they can't come around you because you got blood problems. And we don't want to get what you got. Not only had she the problem of being drained in her social life, but she was drained financially, because the record is she had spent all of her money on all physicians.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
She had spent all that she had trying to get a life that was quickly leaving her. And I know I want to just quickly take a poll. How many of you know what it means to try everything and still end up short?
Yes, sir.
Family have abandoned you. Friends have turned their back on you. Those of us who have helped those in our community, they don't even want to help you. And now you need help and can't find nobody. She had no chance of having a man because she had no energy. Are y'all going to talk to me here? Can you imagine how lonely this woman was? You see, it's one thing to be sick, but it's a totally different thing to be sick and lonely. Notice that Jairus made his request unto Jesus. And then the story turns to this young lady. You missed it. Jairus was on his face worshiping Jesus. He was before the Lord and asking assistance of this 12-year-old daughter.
Yes, sir.
Daughter that he had gave the first kiss to. Same daughter that he held in his hand and fell in love. It was love.
Yes, sir.
At first sight.
Yes, sir.
Saw her get up and walk. Take her first steps.
Yes, sir.
Now that same daughter that daddy could fix everything for. Y'all ain't talking to me.
Yes, sir.
Now in a situation where he has to watch his daughter lose her life. He's standing there with Jesus, said, Jesus, my daughter is dying and I need you to stop by the house.
Yes, sir.
While he's praying to Jesus,
Yes, sir.
this woman sneaks up out of nowhere. Listen, I know y'all getting quiet on me, but I know how it feels to be praying to God for one thing, and your next door neighbor ends up getting what you were praying. Y'all ain't talking to me. I know what it means sometimes for you to pray and ask God for a financial blessing, and somebody nearest you that ain't been praying as long as you get a financial breakthrough, and you say, Lord, I've been on my knees. There's somebody here been praying for a man, and your best friend got him, but you didn't. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. This woman came up out of nowhere.
Yes, sir.
She snuck up in this sermon. She snuck up in scripture. If you read the scripture, Jairus is down and he's worshiping God, and then out of nowhere, the scripture says, it turns real quickly. It says she came up. It didn't even say she, it said came. Came unto Jesus. And doesn't even talk to him. She didn't even pray. She didn't say hallelujah, glory to the Lamb, or thank you, Jesus. She didn't say anything. She touched him and stuck him. See, some of y'all gonna miss your blessing because you always trying to talk, but you don't know how to cook. Oh, I can close it right there. You just don't know where your shout is. Sometimes we need to hush up and just touch him. And somebody said, well, how do you touch him? You touch him through your praise. You touch him through your worship. Sometimes if I can't say a word, do I have any company here? It says sometimes I can't put words together. My nerves get broken and my English gets bad. My grammar gets terrible. But if I could just wave my hand, if the enemy got my tongue, at least I got my hand. I can wave my hand. Some of y'all gonna wave up on a blessing. You're gonna clap up on a deliverance. You're gonna come up on an overcoming. But you gotta learn how to touch Jesus. Tell somebody near you, I got to learn how to touch Jesus. I'm getting happy already, and I'm about 10 minutes from my end. I remember them singing the song, He Touched Me. Somebody said, well, what happened when He touched you? They said, and I'm no longer the same. Then they said, well, tell us a little bit more detail. He said, something. I can't get past something. Look at somebody say, I can shout right there on something. Something means I was sick, but something. Something means I was a hellion, but now I became heavenly. Something means it was broken up, but God put it together. Look at somebody and holler, something happened. But my question is, where did she come from? Watch this. When she snuck up to Jesus, he was not made unclean. She was made whole. And I want to kill some kind of mindset and ideology in here today. Stop trying to run from the folk who really need us the most. And the reason why some of us run from them is because we don't want to be made dirty. And that's because we ain't got enough Jesus in them. Because when you got enough Jesus, you'll run into the ones who are sick in their body and sinful in their ways. And when you allow them to be around you, they'll be changed by you and you not by them. You wonder why you can't go around winos because you still sneaking to be a wino. You wonder why you can't hang around those who are doing drugs because you still got a desire for drugs. You wonder why you can't hang around those who are cheating because you still cheating yourself. You got to learn how to have enough power in you to change them and not them change you. Y'all don't like that kind of preaching, but you ought to tell somebody, I can change some folks. Listen, there was no power. I'm rushing. There was no power in the garment. But her faith in the person is what healed her. Did I mention to you that Jairus is on the ground worshiping Jesus? But Jesus, while Jairus was worshiping him, had the woman come up, sneak a blessing. And then Jesus felt something. Well, Heavenly Bible, Jesus felt something. And I'm wondering when the last time you praised that Jesus felt something. When the last time you touched him and he felt something. See, some of the best shouters, some of the biggest devils. I'm not looking to talk about nobody. I'm just telling you what's there jumping out of the text. But when we really want God to move, we have to have the type of relationship that will bring something out of him and come into us. This woman snuck up to Jesus. Why? Because for one, he was already busy. Secondly, she was not interested in being seen. When you have your back up against the wall long enough, you don't care who hears you. who sees you. And you don't care who rolls their eyes and everything. But watch this. When Jesus said, who touched me?
Yes, sir.
The disciples looked around and said, now Jesus, you got hundreds of folk thrown in about you. And you want to ask us, who touched you? He said, see, you don't even know the difference of real church and church as usual.
Right.
I know they do this every Sunday. They touch me all the time. But this morning, this right here was a little different than that one back there. You see, they want, listen, and let me tell you something. Sometimes folk don't want you to get what God has for you. They'll look up inside your head and look at her being so loud and hollering out. I don't know how to be quiet. But see, when you done had what we done had and been through what we done through, you understand that if a holler comes up, ain't no hushes. I'm gonna let it come out. I have read this story. I'm trying to rush, but some of y'all don't let me. Several times, and I've never noticed that in this lesson here, that if Jesus is in the place,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
we need to stop being more concerned about who sees us than who we're trying to touch. Church folk perhaps want to stop her because she was not like them. She was dirty to them. Now consider the text again. It says she came. She finally made it up in her mind to come to Jesus. Come where? Come to the person, the one who can fix everything with one touch.
Yes, sir.
And listen, you need to stop fooling with people that need you. You have to keep asking for prayer. Oh, y'all are getting mad. Stop running down and ask for prayer every Sunday, every Wednesday, you ought to be able to get with somebody. Y'all really getting mad at me now. But you ought to get in touch with somebody who can get a prayer through. See, that's why we're missing some of the old church members. When they tarried and they prayed for you, they didn't rush through it in 3 minutes. Sometime an hour later, they still saying, oh, Lord. I need some old school saints that they would tarry and pray, put you down and there at the front, and then sometimes they would take, I used to do it there in El Bethel in the fields, this little old white church. That's some of the best churches, those white churches that they had them wooden floors, and then they didn't have an air conditioner. They would lift up the windows, and that's where the air conditioner would come in. They'd have a fan. Everybody had a fan. They'd have no clocks in there. But then when somebody had an issue, they would bring them to the altar. Some of y'all looking at me like I'm talking about something strange. They would lay you there, and they would pray there, and sometimes somebody would try to get up. They said, no, baby, you need to stay here a little bit longer and keep on praying. And somebody say, continue in prayer. And when they finish continuing in prayer, somebody break up and say, I got a feet. Everything is going to be all right. We got to go back to the old time way where we would go to Jesus and let him fix it no matter how long it takes. When you get enough of being in the shape that you're in, you'll say unequivocally that I've been lonely long enough. I've been in the storm a long time. I've been laughed at too long. I've been kept away from the church too long. I've done everything that I knew to do. Let me try this man called Jesus. And somebody in here today ought to say that this is the day that my mind gets right. This is the day that my business will be started. Some of y'all gonna miss it. This is the day my family will be reunited. This is the day my child will be saved. So if I gotta press, I will press. If I gotta cry, I keep on crying. I'm weak, but I'm pressing. I'm hurting, but I'm pressing. I'm talked about, but I'm pressing. But you gotta realize that the Lord has all power. Did you hear me? But in order for this woman to go back to business as usual, she had to be said that she was made whole. And I'm about to really upset some people here, but if God is really going to bring you out, he got to let the whole world know where you were and where you are right now. We want to act like we've never been sinful, but God has to allow somebody to know that it was him that brought you out. Because if you're lost, I cannot get you to where I am until you tell me where you are. If you're in Dallas trying to come to Lufkin and you say you're lost, Sister Julie, I gotta ask you, well, where are you? And if you tell me that you're at the 3700 Simpson Stewart Road, I would tell you go down eastward on Simpson Stewart, jump on 45, hit 20 east, come to 175, 175 east, 69 south, and you're going to hit the loop in Lufkin. I'm all trying to tell you that wherever you are, you got to be honest with where you are so that the Lord can get you where you need to be. Did I tell you that Jairus is still on the ground, but the woman got the blessing? But let me tell you, beloved, don't give up on God. He still has all power in his hand. Jairus is crying to God, but the woman gets the blessing. She sit back and he said, who touched me? She never says a word. He says, something left out of my body. Virtue left from my body. This woman, they said she was just a lowly woman, but I love God. I'm about to shout real good because she went from a woman with no name to being a daughter, and that's good news. The outsiders became family members. Yeah. I'm glad that I came to Jesus just as I was, weary, worn and sad. I found in him a sweet old resting place. Do I have anybody that were outsiders, that were talked about, that were ridiculed? But one day, Jesus, he made us family. He said, come my daughter, come my son, you're now in the family. But look at Jairus, he got a little attitude. Now I came to you first, but you did not heal my daughter. She died. That's sad, y'all. She died. But the good news is we serve a God that not only can heal you, he can raise you up. He may not come when you want him to come, but he's always on time. It may be a sickly situation, it may be a deadly situation, but look at somebody, say whatever you need, God's got it. Whatever you want, God's got it. So it may not be your turn today, but if you can speak up and get a touch, everything, I said everything. I wish I had about 30 people to just high five their neighbor and say I may not be next in line, but I'm going to touch him, and when I touch him, everything is going to be alright. I've been in the storm and rain. a God that can turn it around. Shondo that thing. I told y'all a few months ago, the word shondo means to turn it around. And I feel a shondo. Listen in my spirit. Is there anybody here that's bold enough to just turn around and say, I feel the Lord turning things around? If it's all right, say yes. Yes. Ain't it all right? I said, ain't it all right? Won't it fix it for you? Won't it turn you around? Won't it place your feet on solid ground? Say yes. 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 Yes.
She said, if I could touch, if I could